In democratic societies across the world, there's elections, right? And one thing that you hear is, it is your duty. It is your duty to vote. It is your absolute duty to vote. That is your God-given right as a citizen of this great nation. Vote. You should vote. Or every last one of you vote. Yay! And then people share their little sticker. I voted today. Hey, great. I participated in the furtherance, in the future of our society here by participating in this democratic system, right? But voting is the easiest thing to do. To go into a booth and hit a button, that's the easiest thing you can do. There's nothing to it. There's nothing to that. You know, you could train a bird to do that. You could train an animal to poke the button, to push the thing. You can train an animal to do that. What the real work comes in is learning. You know, what is it that you are participating in this society, in this civics? You know, what do I know about the civil society? What do I know about our Constitution? What do I know about the way our city is run, the Constitution of my state? What do I know about who's running and what do they stand for? Maybe their background. What did they study? What did they write their thesis on? You know, that's hard work. To try to learn what these people stand for and what they do or whatever. That's the hard part. The easy part is pushing a button. Anybody can do that. That's the easiest part. The hard work is when you dig into how these folks who are going to be writing your laws, who are going to be running your city departments, who are going to be running your state or your federal government or might become president, learning what it is, learning about their philosophies, how they think, how they've been taught about what rule, you know, how to rule. Because there's different philosophies, there's different political philosophies that say, you know, to rule one way or to rule a different way. There's many different philosophies, political philosophies. So it is your duty, I would say, as a philosopher, to actually learn about these people and what it is that they want to do. I would assume that it is in our best interest to try to find someone who is more kingly, the way Plato would say, you know. And how do we know who's more kingly? Not kingly like, you know, reserved, self-disciplined, all these things that are going to at least give us, look, we're all imperfect. Nobody's perfect. But I think out of if we have 20 people in here and we look into their background and question them and stuff, then we can say, you know what? I think this specific person here is probably more capable of doing this particular job because of his background, because of what he studied, because of his experience, right? But I wouldn't know that if I didn't dig into the past or have some sort of knowledge about, you know, in quotes, politics or whatever, to follow this person who's trying to, you know, become my governor or my mayor or my president. You know, if all I do is turn on the cable news and I go off by what they say on the screen, whoever it is, whatever sides, whatever's on that screen, if all I go off whatever's on that screen, you know, that screen manipulates our thoughts. Because in some ways we feel as though we're being educated because we're being told, hey, look what's going on in the federal government, or hey, look what's going on in the world. But what we got to remember is what is on that screen always relies on revenue. It relies on eyes. It relies on clicks. It relies on people being focused on that screen so they can say, they can charge the advertiser, the people who are going to advertise, they can charge a certain specific amount because, hey, look, I got more eyes on the screen at this time. So they try to figure out ways, headlines, sensationalize, whatever, to get your eyes on that screen. But then at the same time, you know, hey, we're just trying to live our lives. I got home from work, I'm tired, I just want to know what's going on in the world. So I trust that this channel that I've been watching since I was little, it's going to be telling me the truth. It's the news. They don't lie to us. Right? So it's not our fault, you know, but we should ask more of ourselves. You know, we ask of our children, we ask of our leaders, right? Our teachers, our principals, we want them to behave in a certain way, right? Our coaches of our favorite teams, damn, we want the best to be at that position. Why? Because we want to win, right? Same concept. We want the best, conceptually, the best. And how do we know who's going to be the best? Well, we have to do some work. We have to do some work by looking into some things, and not just by going off of what the screen tells us, because it can be to our own detriment, to our own pockets, to the future of our children, because if the dollar, if our money, wherever nation you're in, if your money loses its value because of stuff that the politicians are doing, it's like this new world, this the new way of thinking that the old world tyrants, right? The old world leaders who are still in power in some places, and even here in America, their ways of thinking are outdated, and they know and they see that the people are starting to learn that they have the power, and they're trying to tighten their grip as much as they can, whenever they can. Pandemics, whatever, anything. They're going to use any excuse to tighten their grip, to remind you who's in charge. But we, the people, you, wherever you are in the world, the power resides in you, because in the end, you are the one that's going to be fighting the battles. You are the one that's going to be feeding your children, or planting the seeds of the corn or whatever. You are the one that's going to rebuild the blown up buildings. You are the one that's going to vote for whoever's going to run your nation. You are the one. All the power resides in you, inside of each and every one of you. You are the sovereign.